Here we see Mike early landing his jab right there that really knocked Jake back. I think that's his most effective punch of the round. But then we see
over to your left so I can see
the right hand grazes Mike Tyson by Jake Paul. That would have been a good shot had it been on the chin. So
Mike Tyson just dropped a bombshell about the Jake Paul fight, and it's as dramatic as you'd expect. The same Tyson known for punches that sound like gunshots and turn heavy bags into dust stepped into the ring and looked tame. His brutal hooks were missing, and his legendary power seemed dialed down to sparring partner level. The man who made opponents question their life choices suddenly couldn't put away a YouTuber with 11 fights. Suspicious? Absolutely. Tyson's punches, once meme-worthy before memes even existed, felt like friendly pats. Now he's revealed the truth, and his explanation is juicier than anything trending on X this week. Buckle up, it's wild. Joe Rogan, the voice of modern combat sports, didn't hold back while dissecting the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight on his podcast. Rogan called it surreal to see a 58-year-old Tyson facing off against a YouTuber-turned-boxer. While he acknowledged Jake Paul's youthful energy and evolving skills, he couldn't ignore Tyson's diminished speed and power. Mike still has that head movement, Rogan noted, but the punches, not what they used to be. Rogan summed it up. Jake may have won, but it wasn't the unstoppable Mike Tyson fans remember. Meanwhile, Dana White admitted Tyson was right all along. Initially, he begged Tyson not to fight Roy Jones Jr., fearing age would catch up. Yet somehow, he underestimated Jake Paul as Tyson's real challenge. Shocking, right? But Tyson didn't need to prove anything. His legacy speaks for itself. Mike Tyson, nearly 60, didn't need to knock Jake Paul out. He just had to show up, collect his paycheck, and remind everyone that when Tyson's involved, money flows. This wasn't just a fight. It was Tyson boxing the entire system. Next time you watch a hyped-up event, remember, it's more payday than glory. Sure, we all wanted to see a classic Tyson KO, but this isn't the Tyson of the 80s. As for Jake Paul, he didn't knock Tyson out, not for lack of effort, but because the risk of rushing a 58-year-old who can still counterpunch wasn't worth it. Paul played it safe, won on points, and added, "I beat Mike Tyson" to his resume. Was the fight scripted? Probably not. But if it was, they need better writers. This script lacked any real drama.
Mike Tyson people talk to. People are there's certain people that are just crazy, man.
Well, these people that think that he don't stand a chance against Jake Paul, they're like, this shouldn't even because he's too old. I was like, I think you're crazy.
Well, they're definitely uninformed.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: he is 57 years old. He will be 58 when they fight. He has had a long fighting career. He has been knocked out by massive men like Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield. You know, he's had a lot of blows. And he's also doing this very unique kind of training with electrical muscular stimulation.
Mike Tyson walked away $20 million richer, and Jake Paul added another win to his record, leaving boxing purists weeping over their vintage fight posters. Meanwhile, drama ignited as rumors of a leaked script for the Tyson-Paul fight swirled, with claims that every punch, jab, and stumble was choreographed like a second-rate reality show. Round 1? Tyson rolled out his classic bob and weave while Paul played cat and mouse, dodging like his life depended on it. A few punches landed, but Paul's youth kept him ahead. Round 2 saw Tyson deliver a body shot so sharp it drew gasps from the crowd, as if on cue. Yet Paul, ever the endurance athlete, bounced around like fatigue didn't exist. By round 3, Paul was suddenly pulling ahead, leaving fans wondering if they just watched a boxing match or a glorified payday performance. Believe what you will. By round 3, Jake Paul was brimming with confidence, landing punches like a seasoned pro while Tyson's signature head movement slowed noticeably. Round 4 saw a visibly tired Tyson as Paul's clean shots and slick footwork turned the bout into a highlight reel for the younger fighter. In the fifth, Paul delivered a picture-perfect combo that sent Tyson to the canvas. The 10 count sealed it. Paul wins by KO, leaving the crowd questioning if they'd witnessed a boxing match or a Broadway play. Tyson hasn't outright claimed the fight was rigged, but let's be honest, it felt more scripted drama than real combat. Rumors swirled that the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation deemed the risk of a real fight too high, turning the event into a glorified sparring session with a dash of theater. Tyson called it giving fans a show, but what fans got felt watered down. The Tyson-Paul fight wasn't boxing. It was glorified tag with a paying audience. Both fighters agreed to hold back. No knockdowns, no knockouts. Tyson even admitted to carrying Jake Paul to make the YouTuber-turned-boxer look good. Tyson had his reasons, revealing he'd endured a near-death experience earlier that year, losing half his blood and requiring 8 transfusions. That explained his lackluster performance, but didn't appease fans who felt cheated. Critics like Tony Bellew called the fight a circus, urging a boycott of Paul until he fights legitimate contenders. Terrence Crawford and Gervonta Davis joined in, with Davis branding Paul a bozo for failing to finish a 58-year-old Tyson. Meanwhile, Paul celebrated his win, hyping it as a career milestone. Ever the showman, he expressed interest in taking on bigger names next, further fueling debates over his place in boxing's legitimacy.
Mike Tyson was right, and I was wrong. You know, when you guys know the whole story about Shark Week, and you know, if you don't, I begged him not to do the Roy Jones fight. You're too old. I love you. I don't want to see you take any more punishment. So I set him up on Shark Week. He got paid good money. And he's like, you fucking... So he almost flipped out the last day and was ready to kill everybody on the boat because he had to jump in with all these sharks again in the middle of Florida. And he's like, this fucking asshole says that, you know, he cares about me and everything else. I've been fighting since I was 12. And he throws me in the ocean with a bunch of sharks. He was right about that, too. But he basically said, I told him, Mike, you're basically 60 years old. And he's like, you honestly think this kid's gonna do anything to me?
Jake Paul is eyeing a fight with Tyson's brother next, proving once again that nothing screams legitimacy like jumping from one scripted spectacle to another. The Tyson-Paul bout didn't showcase boxing at its finest. It revealed how far the sport is willing to go for a payday. Tyson, a living legend, was reduced to a reality TV caricature, while Paul, the self-proclaimed problem child, continues waiting for a real challenge. The match itself? A surreal spectacle. Fans hoped for a nostalgic Tyson blitz, but got a glorified sparring session instead. Tyson bobbed and weaved for 30 seconds before his stamina tapped out. Meanwhile, Jake Paul, 31 years Tyson's junior, claimed victory in a fight critics called more choreographed than a Broadway show. Leaked details and scripted rumors fueled the backlash, leaving fans questioning if this was boxing or just another cash grab. The Tyson-Paul fight played out like a poorly written script, with every move matching leaked play-by-plays. Mike Tyson, contractually restrained, avoided throwing the devastating punches that made him a legend, likely to keep Jake Paul from being sent into orbit. Even former champs like Evander Holyfield questioned the legitimacy, speculating Tyson might have been set up to lose. Sure, Jake Paul has skills, but beating a man twice his age isn't exactly Hall of Fame material. Netflix hyped the event to the moon, only to deliver lagging streams and a fight more akin to an awkward backyard dad versus son scuffle. Tyson fans, clutching memories of his prime, had to endure seeing their hero reduced to biting gloves instead of opponents. In the end, the fight was less a clash of titans and more a corporate cash grab, leaving boxing purists yearning for a time when the sport had dignity. The Tyson-Paul fight had moments that left fans in tears, mostly of laughter. At 58, Tyson came out swinging, but it was more for show than KO. Those 2-minute rounds? Tyson's request to pack in action without draining his cardio. Jake stumbled around, landing punches, acting like he was facing prime Tyson. Spoiler, he wasn't. A jab here, a shove there, and suddenly Jake looked like he was in a boxing reality show. Tyson reminded everyone of his legendary power with a few left hooks, but reflexes don't lie. They're slower, and everyone noticed. Jake's corner shouted about using the jab as if this was Ali versus Frazier, but instead, we got soft punches from Jake and Tyson swinging at ghosts from the 80s. It all ended with a hug, a perfect close to what felt more like a staged money grab than a real boxing match.